Welcome all earthlings and other beings. My name is Lara and this is Zoller Tarot and Art. Today I'm going to be reading your tarot and oracle cards, and I'm going to be tying that into an image that I received in meditation for this particular reading. I hope everybody's doing well. I'm doing great. I'm going to go ahead and start drawing the image. And then what I'm going to do is do the initial spread, and another video will lay over so that you can see me mostly finish the drawing. And at the very end of the video, you can see the finished and colorized piece. And just keep in mind that this is a general reading, so multiple people are watching it multiple times. If you're here, there's probably a reason you're here. There's probably something here for you. But if something really doesn't sound right for you, then don't force it to fit, okay? Also, he, she, they is all interchangeable as pronouns. When I say pronouns, you just plug in the one that works for you. We all have varying amounts of masculine and feminine energy. All right, so what's the saying? Here they be dragons, here there be dragons. Well, I've been seeing dragons like everywhere. Dragon energy. So this was one of the images that came through, because I've been seeing all kinds of different dragons, but I liked this one. And she's sort of sitting here, beautifully formed. And I'm just going to do a quick sketch to give you an idea of what I was seeing, and then we'll go ahead and dive into the reading itself, and you can watch me continue to work on it. Yeah. So dragons, I don't know what they mean to you, but to me, they are symbols of, prosperity and abundance and protection and royalty and strength and power, wisdom. Very, very powerful, powerful energy. I love dragon energy. I'm going to be using my dragon cards today, as a matter of fact. So yeah, I just saw this beautiful, just like beautiful dragon here that I'll be developing, and we'll go from here. So you can kind of see her face right here and everything. I'm going to go ahead and set this aside, put this over here so that we can get the initial spread going. And then we're going to talk about dragons. So anyway, I'm going to speed this part up, and I will see you on the other side of it. Here we go. Okay, I have laid out your initial spread with clarifiers, and the drawing should be popping up over here so you can watch me mostly complete it. And yeah, so it looks like whomever I'm reading for, or whoever you're listening to the reading for, someone you might know, this person is having to make some really heavy decisions. So to me, it looks like a divorce. It looks like someone who is either about to get a divorce or is going through a divorce. Maybe it was very recent, I don't know, but it could be a committed relationship too. It doesn't have to be like a legal divorce, although we have the legal card here, so it probably is. But there are a lot of indicators here that heavy thought has gone into what to do about this situation, and then it's been a big burden. So, but what I feel like is that whomever you're divorcing, or whoever this person is leaving, is extremely immature, like really immature. And there are other indicators, someone who's very lusty and very, I don't know, just not very mature. And so that, of course, that makes every situation more difficult when at least one person in the party is extremely immature, because then they do silly things that hurt people, and they don't think about the consequences or anything like that, and they don't care. So that's too bad. But I do see the tower here, and see, the tower has a strong foundation. Obviously, a lot of time was put into, this building, this tower here. And then there's this big explosion. So there was some aspect of this that was very jarring, that was very rocked your foundation. Yeah, and it's clarified by the justice card, which is about legal issues and balancing things out and everything. And it really destroyed your idea, or this person's idea, of wish fulfillment, having the happy family. It doesn't mean they can't have it. It's just like that. This is, I've been through divorce, so I know. And it's just like it can be very, very stressful, even if both people are being friendly with each other, and or not. It's just, it can be difficult. So I'm seeing a strong need for retreat, 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 retreat. You got it here, the Hermit, and you have the Four of Swords here. So there's definitely a need for you, or whoever this person is, to definitely pull back and really think about what they're doing and find some peace, because it's almost like there's been a lot of drama. And I mean, this is very dramatic. Yeah, even have the Six of Swords here, clarifying the Hermit. Yeah, there's a real need to find some peace, find some space for yourself. It almost reminds me a little bit of that last reading I did called Mountain, which is about having to retreat. Yeah, and there's a choice being made right now, on the next. I know the actions need to be taken here. You have this action card, but what's interesting is you've got this very very interesting moon card, where there's this big crab coming out of this like ocean with these big buildings here. So usually the crab's kind of small coming out of the water, but on this deck, it's like a monster. So it's either that there are a lot of things that have been hidden underneath that are being brought to light, right? Or coming from the surface, that are much bigger than you thought, or you're making them into monsters, or stressors that bigger than what they are. So you'll know what your particular situation is all about. There's probably a need here to get kind of creative to make things happen. But I do see you're going to have some sort of victory. You just kind of need to retreat. You need to get some peace. You need to get away from things. And I'm sorry you're dealing with such an immature person. I can see that, like perhaps you really loved them, or you thought you did at one point, but they just really, they're very tricky. They're very sneaky. And just I'm just getting like real pettiness off of this, right here. So yeah, this has been a big burden for you. Yeah, I can see that you're really going through it, so I'm sorry that you're having to deal with that. Let's see if we can get some more information from these oracle cards. And tying into the dragons, they're beings of strength, but they're not always seen. So you need some dragon energy. It's almost like you need some firepower. You need some. Dragons are wise. They're powerful. They have longevity. Call on dragon power. That's dragon. Maybe meditate on dragons and what that feels like and what that means for you. I don't know. It's something like that. So we'll see if there's anything else. Okay, what else do we need to know about this? Let's see. Okay. The Holy Thorn. I've seen the Holy Thorn. Okay. Another one, please. That makes sense. Okay, another one, please. Yeah, there's a real need here for you to be strong, or this person to be strong, whoever they are. I'm definitely getting that vibe for sure. And this has to do with self-esteem and self-respect. You've got the Holy Thorn, Nimu, and the Lady of Shallot. So illusions. This card's about illusions, about love and everything. So this person, maybe you thought they loved you, or maybe you thought that they were being true to you or something, and they really weren't. And that was a big tower moment. And this is like, can be overwhelming, right? You feel overwhelmed with it. Yeah, it doesn't feel good when you find out that somebody that you put your trust into has deceived you on a very deep level, that they really carelessly threw your love away, or your friendship. So, and this doesn't have to be a love thing necessarily. It could just be a friendship. Yeah, it could be. So, this card, the Holy Thorn, is just encouraging you to have strength, to try to be optimistic. There was another optimism card here. This card's about optimism as well. That's an optimistic person, the Page of Wands. So you will persevere. You will get through this. You will get through this. Even the hardest times, and rest when you need to rest, and retreat when you need to retreat as much as you can. Have as much peace as you can. Find inner peace, because if you get peaceful inside, you get right with yourself on the inside, then dealing with this immature person, the burdens of divorce or breaking up or whatever this is, will be much easier for you to deal with. It's probably going to be painful no matter what. I mean, I could see that you've already been going through pain because of what you found out. So yeah. Yeah. And sometimes we get very idealistic about, I mean, both of these cards are talking about idealism and love. So we kind of put people on a pedestal, or we have an ideal of what things should be, and then we forget that everybody has flaws and that we have our own flaws, and that there's really no Cinderella ideal, situation. Not really. I mean, I don't know, maybe 1 in a million people get that, but a lot of times we have to compromise a little bit, like our space or something like that, to make room for another person in our life. Uh, but when the whole foundation crumbles, like with the tower, see, there's a castle here, but behind it, it's laying over the tower here, which is like kaboom. It's like what you thought was a really stable foundation or situation actually wasn't. And these illusions are being brought forth, and so you can really look at them, and you need to take the time to rest and go inward to look at that. It's strongly saying that. You've got 3 cards here of retreat, and the moon even itself is about retreat, so it's all about what's hidden, things like that. Let me see what your obstacles are, though, with another deck. Let's see here. All right, what are the obstacles, please? Obstacles, and I will list these decks down below in the description box so that you can find them for yourself, and also to show appreciation for the amazing creators. There's so many talented people. Yeah. All right. What are the obstacles for this collective pertaining to this, please? Obstacles. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Another one, please. The obstacles. Man, you're really coming up against it, or whoever this person is really coming up against it. Yep, look at that. Okay, another one, please. Another one, the obstacles. All right. Okay, so your obstacles. Say you have the 5 of intelligence, 3 of charisma, and death. Well, definitely it's talking about having a hard time letting go. Like, because, death is all about letting go. It's all about, endings, and there's a rebirth that comes on the other side of it. But because that's the unknown, we don't always, it can be fearful to move forward. So moving on sometimes can be very hard for several reasons. You might have children with this person, or pets, or things, but it's also saying that you might work with this person right here, because this is a 3 of charisma. So this might be someone that you work with. That would definitely make it more difficult, wouldn't it? Or it affects your work somehow. Even if you worked out of your home, there's something about that is affected because of this moving on. And then 5 of intelligence, that's all about like abusive relationships. This is definitely major conflict. This even could be violence. Maybe you fear this person hurting you or hurting someone you love, or this person that I'm reading for, whoever that is. Maybe they're worried about the consequences when this other person who's immature, like how they're going to act out. So if they're very narcissistic, things like that, they're not going to have any kind of mercy. They're going to act from an immature place, and so that could show up in lots of different ways. So I could see that this person is worried about maybe damaging children, or pets, or home, or property, or even themselves. You might be fearful for your own safety. So definitely be careful. Of course, there are resources you can find to get some help. So definitely reach out, and there's no shame in reaching out for help if you need that. But let's look at the solutions and see what the advice is from your guides. So what are the solutions, the best things this I can do? Okay, this is the Dragon Oracle. I think that's what it's called. Another one, please. The best things I can do for best results. And another one for best results. What's the best thing I can do? Here's what I'm seeing, because you have wisdom, returning, and invention. So what your guys are saying, the best thing you can do is, if you need help, if you're not clear on which path to take or what choice to make, even on a day-by-day basis, ask questions. It says wisdom, asking questions. Dragons are very wise. They, ask your dragon spirit, or ask a friend. Ask. Maybe there's like you know, a parental figure or somebody that you admire, that you look up to, that you might be able to get some wisdom from. So maybe they have a perspective that you had not thought about, because this card over here is talking about getting a new perspective too. And so that's invention. So because there's going to be a need for you to get creative. So especially if you're dealing with a low down immature person and stuff like that, and they do below the belt things and stuff like that, which is, you know, I don't like people like that, but you're going to have to kind of anticipate, like a chess player, you kind of have to anticipate what moves they might make and how your counter moves, what those are going to be. But in the center here, you have returning, which is going with the flow. So that tells me about, it's like, it's almost like you almost have to surf the waves, like a surfer surfs the waves. They can't predict what waves are going to do what, but they kind of have like worked with waves enough that they kind of know how things can go, and they are prepared for if they need to go this way or that way. I don't know, I've never surfed, but anyway, surfing the waves of life, right? So there's going to be a certain amount of adaptability that you're going to need to tap into. But just like the dragon is very serpenty and everything, you're able to do this as well. So that is part of dragon energy too, is this ability to move and maneuver and adapt as is needed. So yeah, so get help where you need to, ask the questions you need to of people that you admire who can help you for sure, or, you know, have your back for sure. Or even go get, you know, there are resources outside of that, people who are not involved in your personal life at all, who can give you really sage advice. Surf and go with the flow, and then, you know, get creative. So invention, burning with passion. So because this is over the tower here, which is also burning, it tells me that when the fire gets really hot, and when you go through divorce, it gets hot. But anything you go through that's really, you know, life-changing, they're going to be hot points. I mean, when I say that, I mean, like, they're going to be times when it's like you feel the fire under your butt. You know, it's like, oh my God, I got to move from here. You know, I got to make this change. I got to do something. I got to adapt, right? So get creative and think ahead of time about how you might react to certain things. Make sure you've got a contingency plan, you know, plan A, plan B, plan C, what you need to do, right? So I'm going to pull from the fairy deck now, and I want to see if there is any more advice before we wrap this up. So what else does this collective need to know, please? Okay. But I get this distinct feeling you'll make it through this just fine. It's just like, it's going to be something that you learn from, like on a very deep level. You'll learn about yourself. You'll learn about your own perseverance and your own limits, your own, you know, developing certain boundaries. Also, what we learn from relationships that don't work out is what to look for, red flags for in the future. You know, we don't want to close down our heart completely, but, you know, we also want to be we want to be a little more careful, because sometimes people will love bomb us or come off as like, as if they're the one and everything, and it turns out they are definitely not the one. So that's what this is here. So, okay, another one, advice for this collective. Another one. Anything they need to know. Something they need to know. There's wisdom again. You're getting wisdom, wisdom, wisdom. Okay. All right, so we have journey, we have flourish, and we have wisdom. So journey says, it's time to prepare for a journey. It may be impromptu or planned. Either way, make sure you're ready when the time comes. Pack your passport now. And interesting, because you had that Six of Swords over here, which is about travel or moving on. And I thought you had the Two of Wands somewhere over here. I don't remember. But anyway, so it looks like there might be a journey coming up. Maybe you're going somewhere, or maybe if you're like have a divorce, maybe you're moving somewhere. I don't know. But it's saying get your passport now. So if you don't have your passport, go and get it. All right. Flourish says, the lotus flower fairy tells you to learn from experience and shed your inner light on any unclear areas of your life or those of others. Yeah, this is laying right over the moon, which we were talking about. It's like things are coming to light. You're seeing things you hadn't seen before. Whatever was placed in your life as an illusion has been revealed now. So, you know, and it might not be that pleasant. So, because you have this tower. So, yeah. Like I was saying earlier, you learn every time you have a relationship or something that works or doesn't work, we learn. So especially the ones that are the most painful, that's actually where we get the biggest lessons that we take in our life. So learn from experience and shed the inner light on everything. Just make sure you look at everything very carefully. Maybe get a new perspective if you need to, right? maybe this trip or whatever this is going to help you get a new perspective, but you definitely need to find a way to find some peace. And maybe that's the only way is you need to take a little trip and get away. Then you have wisdom, which says, have you ever been told that you're wise beyond your years? Now is the time to call upon your inner fairy wisdom to help you with a challenge. Yeah, so whatever your spiritual construct is, you might want to have something developed inside of yourself using your imagination, like we talked about before. Do what you need to do to build a spiritual construct so that you have a place to go inwardly where you can talk to your inner self, your higher self, with God, with whatever your, I say great spirit, right? So, and I have all kinds of guides of various forms and shapes and sizes, right? Including dragons, but, you know, really go inward and find those inner guides is what I'm hearing is you got to find those inner guides to find that inner wisdom. So, and your ancestors who are always watching you too, they want to advise you and they want you to do well. You are their bloodline. So, right. Yeah, so I think I don't feel like I need to pull anything else. I think that's pretty clear. It looks like you're going through a lot. You're going to get past this, but you know, take the time to really think about what you're doing and why you're doing it. Be really clear on, you know, what's been going on for sure. Just look at everything carefully and try to be very creative and like the surfer, and you'll be fine. So it will nothing lasts forever. So anyway, I hope that helped in some way, or at least that you were inspired by the drawing. And thank you for all of your likes and subscribes, and for anyone who comments. I do appreciate that. And just if you're just here to view, thank you. So that all helps the channel so that we can keep raising the consciousness of the you know, of all the beings on the planet everywhere. So anyway, until I see you next time, thank you. Bye bye.